Hey, everybody. Welcome into the Arena, multi-platform gaming news podcast. This is episode 175. I'm your host, Expat, along with my co-hosts, Burley of Burleyman Gaming and Turn-Based Carl. Burley and Carl, how are you doing when it comes to the heat wave out there? So I heard that there's like some kind of heat dome, surrounding the East Coast area. So how you guys doing, Burley?
Yeah. We're surviving out here. It has been freaking warm. Thank God for air conditioning, and thank God for popsicles and like cold drinks.
Yeah, exactly.
Anytime I go the future, like I try to like on my lunches go out and have like a small mini walk. I haven't been doing that because this week it's been plus 30 degrees outside, and then with the humidity, it's feeling really, really warm. So
Yeah.
it's like I've just been, anytime I do go outside, as soon as I come back in my apartment, grab either a cold drink and a popsicle, just something to immediately cool me down.
Yeah. Do you do the same thing, Carl? Grab something to drink and have a cold popsicle?
I don't have any popsicles, but it's 88 degrees here.
Uh-huh.
I was in the pool today, so that was nice. I didn't even notice it while I was in there. I was in the pool for a while with my daughter there, so it was cool. Just enjoyed that. That was nice.
Yeah, out here in Japan, it's about to begin the rainy season now. Usually it's like the beginning of June or middle of June, but in the past decade or so, the rainy season here hasn't started until like the end of June or early July. So usually it's like a few weeks of rain every day, pretty much. It'll be sunny in the morning, and then around 3 or 4 in the afternoon, it just turns into a monsoon. Yeah, it gets pretty bad. And then the typhoon season starts in a couple of months. So actually, there's a few typhoons now, not close to Japan, but still, it's that time of year. So anyway, welcome into the Arena, and of course, we do our live broadcast here on YouTube, and you can also watch us on X and also on the Twitch channels, my expat_1 Twitch channel and the Arena Productions Twitch channel. So of course, weekly on Saturdays, 2 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time and 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Thank you so much for joining us. And of course, later on after we finish up here, you can watch this episode in video on demand on the YouTube channel. And then, of course, our ad-free version over on our Patreon as well. So you can check us out there, as well as all of our other content and exclusive content as well over on Patreon. So today we're going to be talking about the weekly gaming news topics in the world of gaming and game development, and as well our topic of the show, the Nintendo Direct. And of course, Burley has his Mario hat on to signify our topic of the show, talking not so much about Mario. There is some Mario content coming, but of course, the Direct in general and how it added up to all of the other showcases, the not E3 showcases for this summer Game Fest week. So we're going to be talking about that. But first up, let's get into the games that we've been playing. And, I'll start with you first, Burley, and then we're going to get to Carl on the games that he's been playing. So what have you been playing this week, man?
I've been playing Paper Mario Thousand Year Door HD. Nice. Really loving it. I can see why people wanted this game to get in a remaster port. It is like, because I just finished the first game a few weeks back. I can see the improvements in Thousand Year Door that they did compared to the original. So it's so great to play a game where the sequel really takes what worked in the first game and really iterates and improves on it. I've also been playing Rise of Ronin, having fun with that. But boy, that game is hard. That is not.
Yeah.
That is not an easy game. And I've also been playing Cult of the Lamb on Twitch, and that is a lot of fun. Just getting your Twitch chat involved, where they can do the little things you can have, so they can vote and help or hinder you, and just have your followers join in your cult, and they can do the little tasks in your cult camp area. It's a lot of fun.
Cool. So Sad Boy G, one of our contributors, of course, over on Discord and everything as well. Welcome on in, G, as well as Purple Dragon. Thank you so much for joining us in this episode. Go ahead, Carl. What were you going to say?
No, Cult of the Lamb seems like something I'd probably like. I just, I don't know too much about it, but everything I've heard sounds good.
Cool. All right. So, Carl, you are up. So you had a couple of games that you were playing. So I'll go ahead and show those. So first,
I want to have it.
Let me go ahead and get it playing here. So Tactical Breach, that was one of the games.
Tactical Breach Wizards. Again, Steam Next Fest demos. This game, I really exceeded my expectations, because really with the writing, like there's just it's just so witty. It's just like sarcasm and just like fun, like playing with this like weird idea of that you're like these, you're doing this, you're like wizards of some sort, right? But they all have like funky names. This guy's the Navy Seer, right? There's a traffic warlock. And the freelance storm witch. And they have like it's just almost like a puzzle. Like each of the mission, like each battle is like a short little like puzzle of figuring out how
the necromantic
sort of win, in a certain amount of steps or moves, right? And there's special conditions you can get to get extra stuff. Nice. It's just a blast. Like it's this really neat art style. Every time like you go to breach into one of the rooms, like there's during the story while it's playing out, and there's a cool story. Like there's a mystery story going on. Like they'll have a little chat before they breach the door.
Yeah.
And it's always just funny or something silly, and you get a couple like dialogue choices to sort of flavor it a bit. It's brilliant. I really love it. I really do want to get the full game.
Cool. All right. Yeah. So it's in demo. Yeah. So release date August 22nd.
Demo you can go play now.
Yeah. So cool. And there was one more game that you wanted to talk about. So,
The Altars, also demo available now. This one is going to be launching into Game Pass, and this is a really cool, interesting sort of like sci-fi movie idea, kind of like Moon. I don't know if you've ever seen that with Sam Rockwell.
Yeah, I've seen Moon. Yeah.
So in this movie, in this game, it's kind of like a base builder, survival sort of resource gathering thing, but you're the only one alive on this like rig, this like machine here, and you have to, through like talking to this like overseer who you don't really know, trying to tell you what to do. You have this like stuff you find that can like accelerate organic growth. So you use it to create alternate versions of yourself, like clones, right? But there's also a super computer that has like a mind scan of your entire life and all your choices that you've made. And so you dive into that choices, and you pick a point that changes your like previous life choices to make a clone that has different skills, so you can do things that you can't do. Like you need an engineer, right? You're not an engineer, you don't know anything about that. So, but you make an alternate clone version of yourself that became an engineer through different choices in his life. But then you have to like deal with living with them in this small place, and like they don't get along because they don't like that you did this, that you made a clone of yourself.
Right.
And you have conversations with your other selves, and you have to like sort of get sort of come to an understanding based on your shared experiences, or maybe things you did differently in life that makes you not get along. So I'm very curious to see how far that goes. There's like a sort of web of life choices that you can look at.
Mm-hmm.
And once the first one you splinter off, and the demo doesn't go that far, I'm pretty sure you're going to be able to like splinter off all their clones as well. So you're going to take a clone who made a choice here, and then later in that life, you could take a different choice probably off there and make another. So there's going to be a lot of different ways that this could go.
Nice.
Yeah, that's definitely one I'm going to play on Game Pass for sure.
Cool. All right. So for me, I was working on all the content, and we'll be talking about that during the programming notes and stuff. I had so much to do this week because House of the Dragon, and of course the Acolyte, and and the boys. So we'll be talking about that later. Hopefully, I'll get a chance to play some games later this week. But I did finish Hellblade 2, so that was a great game.
I finished that also, long time ago now, but
yeah, it's beautiful. I mean, the game, the visual is just amazing, and of course the story is really, 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 really good. So all right, so let's go ahead and get into the weekly news beat. So of course we go through some of the stories in the world of video games and game development, and this week obviously we had some news about the new Dragon Age game. So Dragon Age the Veilguard. So that is going to be coming out later in the year, and we got some information related to the skill trees, the level cap, the unlockable abilities. So Burley, I mean, what are we going to be seeing in this new version of Dragon Age when it comes to skill trees and the level cap, unlockable abilities, especially before you go into combat and stuff?
So yeah, they've changed things around in this one in Veilguard. So your skill tree, you've got your 3 different categories: you have survival, weapons, and abilities. So, and then them letting you know, for example, warriors, for example, can become champions, slayers, or reaper, each with unique passive and ultimates. Each node offers unique benefits. Diamond nodes are abilities. Medium circles serve as a major passive or ability upgrade. Small hexagon are traits, and small circles are minor passive stat boost. So basically, the way from reading this reminds me of if you've played Diablo 4, you see that massive skill tree. You're going to have the main skill, offshoots of it, and just leveling up and putting points, and just having different. Do you want to focus on weapons? Do you want to focus on abilities or survival, which I imagine are just generic stat boost ones like increase your health, increase defense, and all this and that, and some other stats.
Yeah, so in the video we're showing here, this was from a little over a week ago that they started to show the gameplay. So here, and mixed with cinematics as well. But we got to see some actual gameplay and some, of course, some of the battle scenes as well that we'll show here a little bit. So, Carl, what do you think of this?
Yeah, I mean, it reminds me a lot of Mass Effect, like 2 and 3. But with I would say a deeper sounding skill tree, right? More options. But the way the companions seem to work is very much Mass Effect. It sounds they have more simple skill tree, but they have abilities. Like you're going to be able to sort of like activate their abilities through the interface there, kind of, and you're not going to control them directly, which I know you did in other games. Which to me doesn't bother me because I didn't play any of the other Dragon Ages.
Oh, you didn't play Inquisition, Dragon Age Inquisition?
I think I played like a little bit of 2 randomly.
Oh, okay.
But I never really put any significant time in any of these games. And I think this one looks incredible. And I like what I saw of this gameplay. And I want to play this game. I hope it's great.
Yeah. Burley, are we going to get any characters from Inquisition back in this version?
Well, we have in this trailer here, you have Varric. He's from 2 and in Inquisition. And then you meet up with the one female archer. I'm blanking on her name. She was in Inquisition. She was one of the optional ones, if I'm not mistaken, you could get. So I think they have shown in the first initial reveal when we had on the Xbox event that they showed a whole cast of characters. And I'm sure that's not even all the party members. I'm sure there are going to be other Lace there. Is their name? There's going to be some other returnings.
Didn't that say that's the hero of the Inquisition, right? Because I know they said you get to create your hero from the Inquisition game in this. It's like there'll be a character in the world also, which I think is really cool.
Yeah. Well, the thing was like with Dragon Age 1, you played as your character. You couldn't bring them into 2 because 2 was focused on a particular character, Hawk. And then when you went to Inquisition, you could give your save file for 2, or if you didn't have it, you go to the website, do the whole thing, and have stuff. So that way, when Hawk shows up in the game, you could have certain dialogue, certain events be canon in that you chose your decisions as Hawk to do this and that. So.
Yeah, I think that all sounds great. And honestly, when I think about what they could do for Mass Effect, I would not be against like not playing as Shepard, but Shepard being in it and like your Shepard. You create your Shepard, whoever, whatever. Obviously not gonna be able to really import stuff anymore because that's all kind of far back. Although maybe they could do it with the anniversary one, right? Or whatever.
As long as they bring back Talia, that's all we need for Mass Effect 4. I think I know G will react in 20 seconds after he hears that.
I just hope there's a completely new protagonist that you have to play in the new Mass Effect. I mean, just the Shepard. I mean, spoilers for any of you who haven't played those games, but I think they wanted to move on from Shepard. So
we
shall see.
This does give me hope watching all this for Mass Effect from that. If it's the same team working on it, because this looks more like Mass Effect to me than a medieval version, right?
Yeah.
Than what Dragon Age is. I know Dragon Age used to be more tactical than this. This is much more.
Well, this seems like it's a souped up version of 2.
Yeah.
2 was very action RPG, and people didn't like. There were a lot of people at first didn't like it because you go from the more tactic based of the first game to the action RPG. But I love this. Like, I personally I love 1 and 2 very much. I loved 2. I know people are like, 2's okay. But to see this taking the stuff from 2, the action, really going into the action combat, I know this is going to be a lot of fun. I was just kind of hoping, because they're saying this game is fall of this year. Like, okay, we're at the end of June. Fall's we'll be here before we know it. I kind of want to know, because I've got certain games in September, certain games in October. When is this coming? September, Broketober, November?
They don't care about you, Burley. They are going to pick the date based on whatever else is out there, so that they don't get stuck.
Hey, BioWare, send us copies. We'll give you good reviews.
Well, we're going to be talking about that Nintendo Direct, and there's going to be even a lot more games coming in like October and November.
Yeah. I mean, it's a minefield of great looking games this fall going into November.
Yeah, I'm calling it now, Carl. I'm calling it No Work November. Yeah.
If only you could take off and just play games.
I know. Wish we could do that, man. But
hello, day job. I need off through September through December. A lot of games. I got to get a lot of podcast videos out.
So Burley, here's the ability wheel that they were talking about a little bit here. So
it looks like a souped up one, like a kind of hybrid of what they had in like 1 and 2. So where you've got the little, in 2 you had the little action kind of wheel. In the first game you had the tactic wheel where you pick and could go in through a bunch of menus. So it's like, if it taking stuff and that worked and just changing things up, make it a little faster pace for this action. I'm all for. And if you do want these games, Steam does have them on sale. Here in Canada, they're like $3 a piece for the ultimate editions of each games. And trust me, if you are into your RPGs, you will get your $3 worth.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
And then some.
Nice. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean the visuals are great. Combat, I think, looks really good. I was super impressed by when I watched this. Like, I really think this is going to be excellent, and it's really cool to see this come together because this game was definitely in development hell for a very long time.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And they just kind of like, went silent and really dug in, and this is what they came up with, and then said, "Hey, it's coming soon, fall." So. Be ready.
Yeah, they went as far as actually changing the name of the game as well. So,
yeah. Which, I mean, I like what they said, the reason for it, why it's that, but I don't know what Dreadwolf was. So, with them explaining what Valgard, I'm like, okay, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. All right. So that is the Dragon Age. So it's looking really good. So. Right. Coming later this year. So really excited for that. So it's coming out in November. So yeah. So excited for that. All right. So next up, let's talk about, we just got through with Summer Game Fest and the not E3 events, but right around the corner is Gamescom. So Gamescom's coming in August. But we just got word this week. PlayStation says no to Gamescom. So, let me go ahead and get this caption off here. So, so another year that Sony decides not to go to one of the major events and have a booth. So, I was not surprised at this because I don't think Sony is going to go to any of these anymore. I think it's just going to be their state of plays, and that's it. So, because they don't want to spend any of the money on this stuff anymore. So, Burley, what are your thoughts on Sony saying no to Gamescom 2024 and most likely beyond?
Yeah, I'm not surprised. They've shown over the last couple of years, like they were the first ones to abandon E3 when E3 was still a thing. They're like, why spend all this money? We can do state of plays and show off our things. Not surprising, especially this year for first party for Sony's. You don't have as big of heavy hitters that people are booming with excitement. So it really no surprise, makes sense. But please at least give us some state of plays on Astrobot. I really need to see more of this game.
Well, apparently here in the image, the Astrobot doesn't like the fact that they're not going to be able to show any more of Astrobot over at Gamescom. Carl, your thoughts on Sony just bailing out and not doing this anymore?
Yeah, it's sad. I mean, obviously, not a surprise because they haven't been doing it for years. I don't know why they don't want to be a part of these things anymore because, I mean, this is a trade show. This is where you get people to come in, and this is the biggest one, right? This is the biggest attendance of all of these type of shows, and people come in and play these games and get a look at it. There's a lot of press around it. You don't have to only have first party too. Like Xbox last year, they had a really big booth. They featured third party games that they've partnered with or had marketing with, things like that. So Xbox already announced that they're going to be at Gamescom and again have their biggest booth yet. They announced a bunch of games that are going to be there. I mean, it's a cool thing to do. I think it sucks that we lost E3 and we also have only one of the big three attending Gamescom now. Like, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
You have so much money. Like, I know like these things cost money, but like, I don't know, like be a part of the industry. It's like there's Sony and Nintendo. It's like, we're just gonna rake in the money and just not be part of anything. Just keep taking that cash.
Yeah, but these marketing opportunities that they're going to be missing out on. I mean, to get more potential gamers over to their platform. I mean, that's what I don't understand about this. But I mean, Xbox, yeah, they're going to be there. They're going to do something again. They're going to be showing more games.
Yeah,
And
I don't know if it's making a big difference for Xbox being there, but I think public opinion wise, I think it does. I think people like this, right? People, and especially people who go to these or live near there and can even just dream about going to these events. Like, the idea like, oh, it's awesome that I can get to interact with these games that have yet to release, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think just Sony is going the way of Nintendo. I mean, they're just, they're going to do whatever they want to do whenever they want to do it. And I still think they'll have a presence at TGSO, obviously. I mean, PlayStation and Nintendo. So, yeah, I mean, that's the big event for them because, it's the home territory. So, but yeah, I mean, go ahead, Burley, you were going to say, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And they're not going to cut out a TGS, I don't think.
No.
They'll want to keep that because, A, it's right near where their headquarters is. So you might as well keep it and keep up with the Japanese audience and give the feedback there.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just going to reiterate this. I've said this a million times, but TGS has become like 70% mobile games, and 30% of the PC and the console market. But I mean, PlayStation will still be there, and PlayStation has games on mobile as well, so. They will be there, I think. But Gamescom, unfortunately, no. So, all right. Next up, Carl, this is actually your pick of the week. It's not a new game, but we're getting an anniversary edition. So let's take a look at that now. Beyond Good and Evil. So 20th anniversary edition. So Carl, take it away. Since this is your pick of the week. Go ahead and talk about this now.
This is a lifeline for me, to be honest, because I was looking at those choices, and man, I don't know what I want. And then this came out announcement. I was like, all right, cool. It's but what I think is weird is that this is the first time they've done this, right? And they re-released this game before. It's just so weird to me. Like, this is like this is sort of like a cult classic video game. Like, it wasn't even really that popular in its time when it was released. But I don't know why, like, people, it is a really good game, right? And I think it did decently, but it's not like it was like this wildly successful type game. I'm really curious why Ubisoft seems to keep like trotting this out, but yet can tell us literally nothing about this long gestating sequel. That really
don't ask the sequel. Look over there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, everyone definitely thinks it's canceled, but they haven't canceled it, so I guess it's still in development. And then you randomly drop this anniversary edition for the first game, but have nothing to tell us about the second. There's just no like synergy with what they're doing with this.
Yeah. Burley, your thoughts on the anniversary edition here?
Yeah. Oh, great. Yeah, another edition. But one thing I really don't like with them doing this, they got rid of the older versions of the games that if you could buy last week, you could buy it on Steam. Now you can't because you have to buy this version. Now this is I hate this when they do this where it's no, we have the one version. It's out. We want to give you this new version. You have to spend more and get this. And it's like, what if I don't care about all these enhancements and I just want the normal version of the game? It's too bad.
Yeah, that's common. I kind of wonder if that's just because they think like people are just kind of either they won't care or they're stupid and they're like, why? I'll just buy this cheaper one. Why should I buy the more expensive one? So they're like, don't want that to be there as something that that potential customers could just like accidentally, or just like frugal customers just like, oh, whatever, I'll just buy a cheap one. It's business, right? It's a business.
Oh yeah, no, it's a business move. I personally hate it. But This, I think, is just to put it, you know what, because the fans are clamoring for any news on the sequel. This is just to put out something to satisfy, well, not never going to fully satisfy them, but to just give them something, be like, here you go, we give you this. And just with them not confirming to his dad, but we can pretty much, I still think to his dad, like the lead for it, he left Ubisoft, and there was some stuff and allegations and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that we've gotten no updates, and there are how many other Ubisoft games that are in troubled development and just they've had problems with. I think Beyond Good and Evil 2 is just like, hey, let's stop putting the time there, because the first game was not a huge seller. Not a is it what would you rather put the resources into? Would you put it into this or Sands of Time remake, where Sands of Time sold very well?
Yeah.
And you know, if you get that remake, you know you're going to get a couple million sales easily.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've changed my mind on this though. I for a while I was like, it's definitely not happening. It's definitely not happening. But now I'm like, well, I mean, Skull and Bones came out, right?
Well, that only came out because they had a Singapore government grant.
That's what everybody says, but I don't know. Like, it still came out, and on top of that, they're supporting it with seasonal content, right? So,
well, you kind of have to. If you don't have that, you get a live service game like that. You can't go well, it's actually it came out February, 4 months after being like, yeah, we're not going to throw any more content out there.
Right.
But people are going to be like, no, I'm not going to buy it.
Right, but they planned for it, and they have the content coming and ready. Like, it seems like they have a good strategy for that, right? So it's not like they just shat it out and said like, all right, here it is, and we'll make some crap as we go. Like, no, like they put in a real effort. And then also the Sands of Time thing is telling me that, you know, they telling us like, look, whatever went wrong, but like we're still doing it, and we're telling you it's coming in 2026 now. So like we're not trying to give people any hopes that like it's any day, right? So like they're being honest about that. And then they canceled that Division Heartland it was,
right?
Yeah.
Right. So like they officially canceled that. So like this game it hasn't been canceled. So I feel like at this point it's gonna show up one day and it's gonna be a real thing. And
it's just that they shot themselves in the foot a long time ago when it came to showing a cinematic trailer for something that, you know, they had no development on at the moment. And
twice, by the way.
Yeah.
Because if you
we programmed the title screen, that was about it.
I don't know if you remember like the original teaser trailer for the sequel. That was like, I don't know how many years before then they revealed a new one that was completely different.
It was like 4 or 5 years. Between those two trailers.
Yeah. All right. Now it's time to get into the topic of the show. So we're talking about the Nintendo Direct. And you can check out our live reactions here on the Arena Productions, myself and Fubu87 and Leah the Hatless. We did a live reaction to the Direct. But so we're going to be talking, we're going to give a recap and talk about the games now. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So, first off, we had the Mario and Luigi Brothership announcement. So it's coming on November 7th. So like we said, no work November, right, Burley? Yeah. So
exactly.
Yeah. So Burley, tell us a little bit about Brothership, and from what I saw of this, it was very, very cartoony in style. So almost like a cartoon more than a game. But anyway, your thoughts?
Yeah, well, it's nice to see another Mario and Luigi game, because we haven't had one of those. I think the last one was Paper Jam on the 3DS. People, including myself at first, were thinking with the beginning of this trailer, oh, is this a remake of the original game? I think it was Superstar Saga on the GBA. So people were thinking that. No, we're getting a new entry. It's nice to see that the Mario RPG lines, they're continuing up. Like they did last year, we had the remake of Super Mario RPG. This year, Paper Mario: 1000 Year Door HD, and this a brand new one. brand new RPG in the Mario Luigi series, which had been dormant for a few years.
Yeah. I mean, you'd think I would be all about these RPGs, right? They are turn-based too.
Yeah.
But man, I mean, I think this looks neat. Visually, I think it's like where it should be. You know, I don't think you need to do anything more for this type of game.
Yeah.
But it just looks like it's so simplistic. Like I played the first one on GBA. I gave it a genuine try. I thought, oh, this will be neat. I was like, this is a child's game. And that's fine, right? I get it. But I don't know why adults would play this game. I look at this game and I think, wow, this would be cool to play with my daughter when she's
there. You go. That's the reason. There you go, Carl.
Yeah.
That's
but other than that,
the MO, the main objective of Nintendo, getting parents to play video games with their kids.
Yeah, and that's fine, I guess. But like, if you're not that, I don't know what you're doing playing this. Like the story,
nostalgia,
the gameplay is gonna be
like feel young again,
very basic, and it might be fun, but it's gonna be basic.
But anyway, the Mario and Luigi Brothership, so that's coming. Then we got some interesting stuff. So the Nintendo World Championships.
Oh, and by the way, are they gonna charge what, like $60 for that?
The World Championships?
No.
Mario and Luigi.
I think it's $60 US.
That's wild,
Yeah, but people are gonna go for it though.
Oh, come on, Nintendo, send Carl a copy so he can teach his daughter.
Yeah, all right. I mean, you send me a copy, I'll play it. Okay, I will.
So the Nintendo World Championships, and I was talking about this during the reactions. A lot of this stuff, I'm just surprised, especially with the classic stuff here, that it's not coming directly to the the online subscription service for Nintendo. Just throw it on in there, but
because they can charge $30 US for this.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean,
I agree. This should just be included in the Switch Online, even if you put it only to the higher tier.
Yeah,
this would be a great addition. This is like, originally I had this. I had the physical edition pre-ordered. I'm looking at myself. I'm like, canceled it because I'm like, this is $90 for the physical edition here in Canada. I'm like, why would I need this? And it's like one of these kind of games. It's like I would play it for a day or two and then never touch this again.
Yeah, because all of this stuff is like NES, Super NES stuff.
It's not like it was like NES Remix where that was on the Wii U. I love that. That was great because you had it was remixing and you're going in between the two different games. Like you'd play a Mario thing, go straight into Legend of Zelda 1. And it was like, okay, what craziness am I going to get with some of these later challenges? It was, this is just, okay, get 100 coins in this Mario level as the fastest you can. You get graded on it. Like, not my style.
This is a huge nostalgia play. And this is why you see this like crazy deluxe set thing. Because it's targeted towards like people like me, like 40-year-olds who grew up like playing NES games, and like this was like the thing that you could never play, right? The championship NES thing, right? It was in the movie, like The Wizard, right? These trial things, this whole idea of like this mix up time trial sort of challenge NES thing, and now it's like, here, you can just have it, and don't you love all this extra goodies you can get with it, and you're old now and you have money to spend, like like that's what it is. Like, what do you think? I don't think kids are going to be into that.
So Koei Tecmo, Fairy Tail 2, so it's coming as well. So coming in the winter season. So we'll go ahead and move down here.
Why no English? Why no English? Like I have watched all of Fairy Tail, the anime. Like, you have great voice actors for that. like I'm surprised the game got a sequel.
Mm-hmm.
Because the first game I don't remember doing quite that well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a sequel, and it seems like, from what I've seen, I think it's Switch only, Switch and Steam. I
Yeah.
don't remember seeing it on PlayStation or Xbox. So it's like, it's just weird.
Yeah.
I could probably tell you it's because they don't think it's going to sell a lot, so they don't want to spend the extra money. They're like, we'll just get what we know we can get from it, and it's not putting in all this money.
Yeah. So yeah, Fantasia Neo Dimension. So coming in the later part of the year during the holiday season. So
yeah, this is cool that it's some sort of updated version of this Apple Arcade exclusive made by Hironobu Sakaguchi, Final Fantasy fame. But man, when I look at it, I'm like, I don't think it looks that amazing. I want to try it to see what it's about because of the pedigree right behind it. But man, I mean, it looks, it was a mobile game, right? And the combat, I just don't know. I don't know that it looks all that interesting. Art style's okay. I don't think the art style's like amazing or anything. I think it's interesting what they did with the backgrounds. They're sort of like, I forgot I read about it. They're like actual, like, what was it? Like, was it miniatures?
He actually made models.
Miniatures, models? Yeah, right. Yeah. Which is neat, but also like it's weird. I don't know that like it adds that much to it.
It's unique, something different. So you know what? I'm definitely gonna check this out and most likely pick this up. I just don't know when I'll pick it up. Because with so many games, I got to do the pick which one am I going to enjoy more, which one I think I'm going to get the best value out of my money for. This I'm definitely going to try. Like there's the huge pedigree with him. Not also soundtrack is going to be awesome with Nobuo Uematsu. I haven't heard about soundtrack that he's done, so it's like I'm looking forward to it. But no release date. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's just a holiday release window.
Yeah. And this is coming to all platforms too, as well, which is cool. I mean, Square Enix sort of honoring their, and we'll see later too, their aggressive multi-platform strategy.
Very aggressive now. Very aggressive now. Yeah, it's interesting. All right, so for you, Switch, for the sports fans, of course, Nintendo Switch Sports, you get to play basketball now, so that's pretty cool. So
you finally play New York 21.
Yeah, right.
This is just for you, Expat.
That's right. Yeah, the basketball, because I played street basketball as well. So yeah, it's good stuff. So out in the summer. So for all of you that are playing Nintendo Switch Sports, so in a cool addition there. Mio Memories in Orbit, coming in 2025. What did you guys think of this one?
Can I play the trailer? Because I don't remember it.
Yeah.
The art style, from what I remember, was really cool on this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Focus Group.
Oh, they have an indie series label. Interesting.
Yeah, this was the indie game they had in the direct.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, it's just I saw that they have a special logo for it.
Yeah, so
I forgot what kind of game is this. The one that looks like a sort of inside Limbo type game.
I think so. Yeah, let me go ahead and move it on a little bit here. So
yeah, okay, yeah. If it reaches like sort of the heights of that, that's cool.
Yeah.
This looks good.
Yeah,
but there's combat. There's actual like more Metroidvania actually. Maybe this is.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's Metroidvania based.
Yeah, maybe this is the one I was thinking of. No.
Yeah, like Limbo and all, as well as kind of Ori style when it comes.
Yeah, it's more Ori. That's really what it is. It's more of an Ori game.
Right. Yeah. So, but yeah, coming in 2025. So yeah, some of the games that they showed here, it's into next year. So interesting. So good stuff. All right. So Mio, Memories in Orbit. So on the cartoon side of things, for all of you Disney fans, obviously we got Disney Illusion Island. So yeah, so it launched on the same day as the Direct. So yeah, so more Disney. Yeah,
more content.
Yeah, Yeah, more content to the game.
Hello Kitty Island Adventure.
This one's for Burley.
Yeah, for Burley for sure.
Ha ha ha.
Yeah. Hey, who doesn't like Hello Kitty? Yeah. So,
It was originally only on mobile, guys, but now you can get it on Switch and PlayStation and Xbox. Got you excited?
yeah. But yeah, I mean, one of my two cats is named Kitty. Yeah. So.
It's Animal Crossing like, and I did love Animal Crossing New Horizons. You never know.
There you
can have a good time. You got to go in with an open mind.
And we get more basketball here. So Looney Tunes, Wacky World of Sports. So yeah, more basketball. I thought they were going to throw LeBron James into this as well. You know, kind of like another Space Jam type of thing. But yeah.
Well, he and Michael Jordan will be DLC.
Of course. Yeah.
Well, LeBron's in Multiverse. Multiverse is that what it's called? Yeah.
Yeah. No. Multiverses.
So it was whatever that game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the additional content for Among Us was also shown again.
Sus.
Yeah. Formagia, I think it's called Formagia.
This one made me laugh when they were like describing things in the world, and then when they said like you're a Farmagia or Formagia, I'm like, oh god, I laughed. Like I literally laughed out loud at that name. And then it was the name of the game too, and I was like, oh god.
Comes on November 1st, so another November game. Yeah.
Well, yeah, for what this game is, quickly, because this game does, I do have a little interest, because this is basically farming Pikmin. You're just farming and creating little creatures and banding your own army like of Pikmin and just sending them to fight things for you.
So it's Pikmin cross Pokemon.
Yeah.
With a farming simulator as well, I guess. Is it?
Well, come on, you got to throw Pal World in there too. It's a mixture of Pal World as well. Yeah,
they just don't have guns. If they have guns and a few other things,
exactly.
The character's named 10. Come on.
Yeah,
was that like a look like a Wolverine type of figure there.
Yeah.
Kind of go back here. Where is it? Yeah. Right here. There's kind of like the Wolverine.
That looks like a pal from Pal World.
Maybe. Yeah.
It's called Logan.
Logan, it's a Logan, yeah. So anyway,
this is one I will definitely keep my eye out. I doubt this is going to be a day one purchase for me, but this is something I will eventually hey, I'll see it on sale in the eShop and be like, you know what? I love my Pikmin. I love creating an army to kill things. Let's go.
Donkey Kong Country HD. Yeah, Donkey Kong Country HD returns. So it comes out on January 16th of 2025.
So was this a remake of the first Donkey Kong Country on the Wii, and then now it's a re-release?
I think that's what they said.
HD?
Yeah.
It's the second re-release of Donkey Kong Country Returns. Originally it was on the Wii, and then they put it to the 3DS.
But what is Donkey Kong Country Returns? Is that a remake of the original, or is that a new game?
It's a brand new game. You don't fight the Kremlings. The Tikis are your enemies.
Got it.
And they hypnotize animals.
Look, I'm not up on my Donkey Kong Country lore. Okay, I haven't played it since the original on Super Nintendo. Okay.
Yeah. Those games are great, the Super Nintendo games. Yeah. But this, I didn't have much interest because, I've played Tropical Freeze, the second one that they did, and that one has a little bit more. This game is really, really hard from everyone I've heard. And I'm hoping they do little things to help, like they did when they did the Switch port of Tropical Freeze. They gave you Funky Kong you could play, where you had a double jump and a few other little things to make it a little more fair. It's just the thing I don't like with this is all you play as Donkey Kong. Diddy is a power-up. He's not, you're not switching to Diddy and all that. And it's this is something no, Diddy was the one you wanted to play in Donkey Kong Country.
I guess you could play, you could switch. Right? Well, no, I don't remember. Whatever.
Yeah, you could you switch between them. But I'm hoping this is really budget price because like if they go full price on this is ridiculous.
$60. No way, right? Because it's a re-release.
This got to be like 20, 30 US.
Yeah.
Max.
It better be only 20 or 30. Yeah.
Look, where is my Donkey Kong Country 64? Sorry, no, Donkey Kong 64 sequel. Okay.
Yeah, that's probably coming down the pipeline.
Get
probably
out of
another.
this
Once they
2D
get the
nonsense.
Switch 2 out, and they're probably going to start updating the service, and instead of what is it now, Burley? I think it's now they're doing Nintendo 64 games on the Nintendo service now. So maybe they'll start putting like like Wii games and
well, people are theorizing that because Nintendo's been taking down more emulator ROM sites.
Yeah. So we'll see.
I'm the weird guy who likes Donkey Kong 64, and I think part of that is because I'd never played Banjo-Kazooie, which I know was like the better game and very similar, right? And same people made it.
Yeah.
But I liked that one because that's what I knew, so it's fine.
Yeah,
it was a good game.
All right, here we go, guys. So Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake. So yes, coming in 2025. So there you go.
Well, this is coming November. In 2025, we're getting 1 and 2 HD.
1 and 2 HD, yeah. So so 3 is coming in on November 14th. Yes.
Yeah, which is really nice that they're also doing 1 and 2, because spoiler alert, 3 is the prequel to all of it. You go 3, then you go 1, and then you go 2, because it's called the Erdrick trilogy.
Yeah.
This looks great. My only thing that I don't like, you want full price for this. They want 90 Canadian dollars for this game. And then if you want the collector's edition for this, Square wants 200 American.
Oh God.
And it's like, you look at that collection, you don't get a steel book, you don't get so it's like the value of what you're getting is under $100 to me, and it's like you're going to charge 200. Are you out of your freaking mind?
Yeah.
I sort of get it. It is a full remake, right? It is not like they changed. They redid the whole thing, right? You look at the original, it looks nothing like this. Although there is some things where I look at it and I'm like, that looks kind of basic. I am a little bit worried that the gameplay will not really be that amazing. Like, I look at this and I don't see a lot of emphasis on what you've done to make the combat system more modern.
Well, when I look at it now, though, it looks like an Octopath Traveler 2, or like a Sea of Stars or something like that. So,
yes, but those two games have very modern, original, turn-based combat system, which are awesome.
Yeah,
this doesn't look like that, and I'm very worried that I'm just gonna feel dated playing it, even though it looks like pretty.
Yeah. They have said they added difficulty stuff, which is kind of nice, because Dragon Quest 3 can get hard.
All those games are hard on the NES. I played these as Dragon Warrior 1, 2, and 3 on the NES as a little kid, and they were very hard, and I remember pretty much nothing about them.
Oh, and 3 is very cryptic. One of the things with 3 that you have to do, because when you get into the later half of the game, because you got to get certain collectibles, one of them, you have to go back, because 3, you play as your character, and then you get 3 random people you hire from like a mercenary guild.
Yes.
One of the, you have to put one away and get a merchant, hire a merchant, bring it to a certain spot, leave them there, then go back and pick up that party member you left behind. And it's like, I'm hoping they put stuff like, I love the first 3 Dragon Quest games. I bought them on Switch, the mobile ports. They're not bad versions of the game, but I'm hoping they do stuff to make it a little easier to find where you're going. And for the Game Boy Color version of 3, you had an extra dungeon and the whole mini medals system with the monsters. So I'm hoping they add that kind of content, because if you're going to charge top dollar on this, full game price, you have to add. Even though this is if you're using a guide and no RPGs, this is like a 30 to 40 hour game.
Yeah. And this is also coming to Xbox PlayStation and PC as well.
Right.
Yeah.
So Square Enix, everybody
And
making amends.
they are.
Yeah.
Oh, well, they showed this years ago, and we're all waiting.
Yeah.
Like, where is this?
So then we got the Funko Fusion, so Funko Pop, so they gotta capitalize on the Funko Pop craze. So they're doing that. So it comes to the Switch on September 13th.
This feels like this should have came out years ago. Like, I know you said this when you were covering the Direct. It was like, we all knew they were going to make a Funko Pop game eventually, but this came years too late.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know who's going to really care. There was like a Gears Pop game, remember too?
Yeah, Gears Pop.
That was a mobile game. Like nobody cared.
Only the mobile players, Carl. Yeah, they cared. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that game though wasn't successful.
Well, they played it for about a week and then went on to the next game, of course. Yeah, or probably less than a week. But anyway, Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. I'm going to skip that because Burley, you're going to be talking about that later. So the new Dempa Man. Yeah. So.
What does that mean? Does that have any meaning to it?
No.
What is Dempa?
Dempa.
All I'll say for this game is Japan.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I say it with expat in listening because do you get it?
Dempa. It probably like emoji stuff. I mean, yes. So anyway, So Metal Slug Attack Reloaded. So Metal Slug.
I'm so surprised too because like another Metal Slug. You had Metal Slug Tactics, which was delayed and originally showed at one of these Nintendo Directs, and finally coming this year. And then they're like, "Oh yeah, we got another one."
SNK's got to pay those bills, man.
Yeah. And you were playing the Metal Slug's Tactics like the demo the other week, right, Carl?
Man, and I loved it. I think that game also exceeded my expectations, and I did not expect it to be a roguelite. And I think that really makes a lot of sense. It works well for a game that originally used to be like, an arcade, shooter, like, coin muncher type game, right? Where it's almost like you're on like a roguelike run that you have limited resources to get to the end.
Yeah.
This looks like mobile trash, to be honest. And I'm not interested in it one bit, even though I'm nostalgic for Metal Slug.
Yeah. So, all right. Next up, Darkest Dungeon 2. So we've seen this before, and now it's coming to the Switch.
Yeah, I was very surprised to see this at the Nintendo Direct, and I think that's cool. I'm happy to see it highlighted at any of these showcases. I played this on PC when it first came out, and I thought it's a really cool sequel. Not quite as good as the first. But I think it's at least bold of them to go in a different direction and try something new. Yeah. And this is, I believe, it is also coming to Xbox and PlayStation as well.
Right. So yeah, they did show some of these ports and all, and from other from other console.
I mean,
platforms that are coming.
Visuals are awesome. Music is great. Combat's really fun too, but it is much more of a rogue-like than even a roguelite. Like you are going on like just runs. Yeah, that's kind of it. Right. But there's upgrades in between, but not like the other game where like you had like a static village and characters that you could level up and keep around and choose to.
Right. All right, next up, Nintendo Switch Online update. So Burley, Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past, Four Swords, Metroid Zero Mission, Turok, Dinosaur Hunter, and Perfect Dark coming to the Switch Online plus expansion. And it's available now. So your thoughts on that?
Yeah, this, some of the, hey, they remember they have their online service to put stuff on because they are the worst out of all three to put stuff on. They take so long. It was surprising that they did the Link to the Past this version. But it was kind of nice to see, like, hey, with the Four Swords, you can do it online because I used to have the GBA version of Link to the Past, and it had the Four Swords content. on there. So it's nice to see that, hey, you can do this online. So we could all hook up and just do that together and play a Four Swords game. Even though it's very short, it is a fun little online game or two. And then the Turok, like, yeah, they put old Turok on here. I know they have another version of Turok, a remake of one that is on the Switch you can buy. So it's like, okay, you can play the janky looking original or the more modern looking one.
Yeah.
Good on them for at least putting it.
And Perfect Dark.
Perfect Dark. Yeah, it makes sense to just keep people,
like, hey,
keep.
Microsoft's making a new one. You should play this old one first, and then maybe go to Xbox. I don't know. There's no synergy there. Obviously, it's just very odd.
Yeah. Phantom Brave, The Lost Hero. So coming in 2025.
God, I forgot this one too. What was this? I don't even know.
Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection, Arcade Classics.
So, this one surprised me that we got this.
Mm-hmm.
And then I know Carl's going to have something to say in a sec on that.
Super depressed. It's not on Xbox.
Yeah.
Yeah, that like I don't get on that one. Like if you're going to put a fighting game collection, put it on everything.
Yeah.
From what I saw going around, saying that the engine that these old collections that they're putting out, of these games they're porting, they don't have development team on Xbox, which is why you didn't get a couple others like the Mega Man one. There was more than one Mega Man one actually. There's a few games that Capcom, because Capcom does usually, I mean, all their big games are on Xbox, right? But then some randomly these collection things come out and they don't go to Xbox. Yeah. It seems like there is some weird thing about they just don't have the they don't want to put the extra money into it, right? And it's just easier to do it on the other platforms. And also remember, this is PS4 and Switch, right? It's not even a native PS5 game.
Yeah. Well, for something like this, they're not just going to put it to the PS5. They're going to put it to PS4 because also there is the install base of 100-something million units.
Yeah.
So like on something like this, because like, yeah, they're making it look a little better, but it's not that much better than I'm sure if you pulled out the original arcade cabinets of some of these games.
Yeah.
This Punisher game. I never played this one.
Yeah. Nick Fury there. Yeah. So
Marvel's Capcom 2, man. That's one of the greatest fighting games ever.
It's nice to see because this was pulled off. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was pulled off everything years ago. Nice to see. Hey, for some platforms, you can buy it again and have a chance to play it.
Right. Super Mario Party Jamboree. So coming October 17th. So got more of that.
Yeah, well, this, at least it seems they're putting actual effort into Mario Party. The first game on Switch was a lazy game. And it took 2 years to get the online. The online didn't really work. And then they put the second Mario Party game, which was basically greatest hits of a couple boards from 1, 2, and 3. This one, they've at least announced there's at least 7 boards. There's more boards than either of the last 2 games. And you can play up to 20 players competing online and stuff like that. So it's great, that aspect. That looks like they're putting effort and giving us content for one of these games.
I'm going to say, and it's going to be weird, but this was one of my highlights of this showcase.
Nani?
I have nostalgia for Mario Party. Like I love the original game. I played a lot of it with friends and my brothers, and it's just a blast. Like I think this is something that makes a ton of sense with Nintendo to actually put effort into, because like it's a digital board game, but like the coolest digital board game, right?
Oh yeah.
And I think this one looks incredible. Everything I saw here, I was like, all right, like I've been itching to like want to get one of these and see if I can get my daughter to actually play this, because I think it's simple enough, and it doesn't, even if she doesn't is good at it, like it's fine. Things will still happen, you know.
Oh yeah. Even if you don't win, you still can have fun in Mario Party.
Exactly.
And this is just, it is always a lot of fun to just sit there and play with friends. And it's nice that they're really putting the online in the focus on this, so I can just do that. And then, of course, they have to have one you're in a car, because Mario Kart, with how much that sold for them on the Switch.
But that's
So
neat. That's like, looks like a cool level. Honestly, I like that level,
Yeah.
and I like the Rainbow Galleria one. I think that's a neat idea.
Yeah.
All
Western Land for Mario Party 2.
yeah,
Yeah.
That was nice to see. Some new mini games, just different stuff that they're doing with mini games.
Yeah.
So,
Good stuff.
I hate the motion based ones, but hey.
Now I don't have I only have such light, so I don't even know how this would work on that. I don't know the motion stuff.
You got to buy some Joy-Cons.
Yeah, you'd have to.
I guess it has a gyroscope in it, right?
Yeah, it has a gyroscope in it, but I mean, just like, if you want to play with you and your daughter, you're gonna have to buy some Joy-Cons.
Right.
Yeah, because I can't even hook it up to the TV. So I can't actually play it with her because I would need to hook it up to a TV, and I can't do that. So
Right.
Wait for the Switch too.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, next up, Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. So a brand new Zelda game where in this one you are playing as Zelda searching for Link, whereas you know in most of the Zelda games you're playing as Link searching for Zelda. So yeah, a very different look at the Zelda franchise in this new game here. And there have been some people that have been ripping on the art style of this game, and I'm not going to get into names,
this
but
this guy
might have been, yeah, but yeah. So first, I'll start with you, Burley. Your thoughts on this new take on Zelda?
Oh, this was my game of the Direct. I am a huge Legend of Zelda fan. At first, I thought this was Link's Awakening, not Link's Awakening, Link to the Past remake.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people were talking about online.
I thought
that's what they were. That's what they were saying. It's going to happen. That's what's coming. But
yeah, and this just right here, right feels out of straight up Link to the Past. If you've played Link to the Past and gotten the end, this just looks great. Like I know you're not. Some people are not a fan of the art style, but hey, you're taking from the Link's Awakening remake. I like that art style, and you know what? Playing as Zelda, and it's actually Nintendo doing it, not the CDI games. So I have faith here, and like you know what? They're doing different stuff. She can copy stuff with the wand and do different stuff, and like with the whole thing of making water blocks and all this and that for the puzzles and stuff, and figuring out your solutions and all the different stuff you could do. It's great. Because I can only, like, the sky's the limit with what you can do with the puzzles. So I cannot wait to see what they will do with the dungeons and all the different stuff.
Well, skip ahead to some of the other gameplay because I want to get reminded of what you're actually playing as in this. Because that's sort of my issue with this, and also the art style, right? Like I hated the Link's Awakening art style. The remake. I thought it was atrocious, and it's still atrocious to me today. These character models are garbage to me, and I'm sorry. You're never going to change my mind. It's personal opinion, and I think they're cheap and lazy. They have no detail, they have no texture. There's nothing to them. I would ask for more out of this. The world is fine, the rest of it, but the character models are like, come on. Man. So the gameplay here. That's another thing I think is weird is that kind of like the Princess Peach thing. It's not like a Mario game. It's something else.
Mm-hmm.
So like it looks like a Zelda game, like from like the view aspect, but like you're not doing regular Zelda gameplay at all, right? I mean, it doesn't look like it. It looks like all you're doing is this building and this puzzling. And I guess you've kill monsters with some of these effects, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, could you compare this game though to the mainstream like I guess I'll say AAA type of Zelda game like Breath of the Wild or anything like that, Burley. I mean,
Oh, no,
I think this is completely like a different type of, type of Zelda that they're trying to work on here.
oh yeah, this is completely different. And you know what? I'm all for it because even though they did different things with all the different Zelda games, but they're all for a while there is like you're going around, go to dungeons, do this and that as Link. And then like the whole thing with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom changed up. And like you've got the kind of crafting sort of kind of stuff with this you have in the other and the two Switch games.
Mm-hmm.
But like, you know what? They're doing something different. I applaud it. Keeps it fresh. Keeps it because it was like people were wondering, because there were rumors we were going to get a 2D Zelda, and it's like, oh, okay, is it just going to be another Link to the Past style, or are we just going to get a remake of another game? Yeah. Hey, they're doing something different. I'm looking forward to this. I cannot wait to see what else, because we'll get more stuff showing at this, and we've got this coming at the end of September. I think it's 26th.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, September 26th. It's coming out. So
I definitely agree with that sentiment. That it's nice to see them doing a 2D Zelda and doing something different and unique, right? Yeah. But I know there's a lot of hype for this, but I kind of feel that if you made a more traditional Zelda, and I know you don't have to give give her a sword, right? But like, I don't know, give her magic, right? Give her other types of weapons. So it is still different. I think there would be just as much hype, if not more, if it was like that. So, I mean, because that's what I would rather play. I'm not going to play this. I don't have any interest in playing this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more of the traditional, like Breath of the Wild type of when it comes to the art style, when it comes to the gameplay and all that. But I mean, something like this, I mean, I'd like to try. What really interests me is the story aspect of it. Is you're going to be playing as Zelda, so searching for Link instead of Link searching for Zelda. So
yeah, but expat, that's it. That's the whole story. It's over.
Yeah,
you know the whole story now, and eventually you save Link. That's at the end.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a different style altogether. I think.
No, so the twist is nice. I do. Yeah, think that's good. It's a good thing to do this, just not for me.
All right, so then we get Nintendo Switch Lite Hyrule Edition coming September 26th. So Carl, there you go. You can get another Switch Lite.
I don't need it. I don't need it.
Damn it.
Yeah. Of course, one of our guests before, Genki, Genki Gamer, he was saying he's probably going to be picking this one up too. So yeah.
I mean, no, that looks great. I definitely would like to have that if I was a big Zelda fan. Just
I
don't.
See, I
want
want
it.
It.
Nobody really needs it at this point.
Exactly. That's the only thing. Yeah. I want it because I have the Ocarina of Time 3DS console and the Majora's Mask 3DS, which was all gold, and I have my Wii U is the Wind Waker HD one, and it's like I want it, but it's like it's a Switch Lite. I already have a normal Switch, and it's like it's just going to sit there. I will use it sometimes. It's like I can't dock this. I can't. It's like especially with how much they want them. These things go for just the base Switch Lite is $269 before tax. So
what's the price on this one? Do we know?
It's gonna be. I think they said it's the same because you don't get anything with it other than a couple months of Nintendo Online.
Yeah,
you don't even get the game.
Like 200 US, it should be.
Yeah,
they're probably banking on new Switch Lite purchases, to get people into the system maybe, and because they're Zelda fans and all, so
they're more targeting the Zelda fans and the collectors and the idiots like me that'll be like, Zelda here's money, take.
This is gonna sell out, and it's gonna be like in a box on someone's shelf, For the most part.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like I want it, but it's like A, I've got a trip to pay for, and it's like B, I'm not going to use it enough to justify 300 Canadian for it. If I didn't have a Switch at all,
Yeah. Okay.
I
So
could-
then, go ahead, Burley. Finish up.
I could be justified to spend it, but it's like, yeah, no.
Yeah. Okay, then we get into the part of the show where we're getting, of course, some of the games from the other platforms and the other, like Ubisoft and others. So Just Dance 2025 edition coming in October. So that's coming to the Switch. So
Why put it at the Ubisoft event when you can have it at the Nintendo Direct?
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, Lego Horizon Adventures, of course, which we saw, at the I think it was at Summer Game Fest. Yeah. So that's coming to the Switch as well. So
and still no release date. It was like when we were sitting here, I'm like, okay, we're going to get the release date. I figured they would show it at the Direct because you put this on Nintendo's platform. You want Nintendo to help market this game for you.
Yeah. Well, they pretty much figure it's coming to Nintendo, so whenever it comes, it's going to make a bunch of money. So for games, for players that play on Switch, and then we got Stray, which is also coming to the Switch in the holiday season. So glad to see this coming. It's a great game coming to the Switch now. So Stray. So. Then we get a Lord of the Rings game, Tales of the Shire. So it's coming in a holiday season, so another just release window, no release date, but
and you can't. I think they have confirmed you can't have your hobbits smoking pipeweed.
Yeah.
So it's like
that's too bad.
I'm sure this will probably because the Gollum game we all know well, and that Moria game, I've not heard anything good about it. It's like, I'm sure this will be the best one out of them all, but it's just like a farming life sim with hobbits. That's like, I have enough of these kind of games that I'd rather play.
Yeah. And then we got the Ace Attorney. So Ace Attorney Investigations Collection. So coming on September 6th. So that's pretty cool. So that we're getting that as well. The 100-line Last Defense Academy. All these Academy games.
What was this one again? I forgot. I think this one's kind of interesting, but then I was like, oh, wait, that looks weird.
A lot of these Academy games are like that. So Romancing Saga 2, Revenge of the Seven. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So this one actually was also one of my highlights of the show because I've never really played these, and this looks really good. I think it looks incredible for remake. I don't even know what the original looks like. I'm sure it looks nothing like this at all. So this is like a big remake, and on top of that, they really emphasized upgrades and modernizations to combat, right? Making this feel like a more interesting, modern, deeper turn-based RPG as far as combat system. So my one big problem is that this is a Square Enix game. They not coming to Xbox for whatever reason. Exclusively not on Xbox, as I like to call it, because it's on everything else.
I'll show a little bit more of it here. So
it looks good. Has my interest. It's just I don't know when this kind of game I will get to it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
This probably not a day one.
So typical Square type of game. So all right. And then we get to the end of the show here. So let me go ahead, and we get Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. And this game is coming next year, 2025. And of course, I think Burley will agree with me here, this is going to probably be a day one Switch 2 game.
I was going to say, yep, I agree. This is going to be the Switch 2 launch title.
Yeah.
But it'll be cross-gen also on Switch 1.
It better be. It better be. Yeah. So, I mean, this, and there'll probably be a new mainline Mario and a new mainline Zelda or something like that to come out with the Switch 2. But yeah, to put this on there day one also would be really cool. So, so what did you think of the the gameplay that they did show here? So it looks, you got the first person action here. So
Burley, why don't you take it away?
I was gonna say this looks great. Like I haven't played as many of the Prime games. Like I've played Prime 1, I played it on the GameCube, and played the Prime remastered that they put on the Switch it was 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So this looks great. You know what? You get the standard stuff showing you regular combat, you and Morph Ball, showing you a couple of the different beams, and I think later on you see, just switch to missiles. So showing you the standard Metroid Prime stuff, and hey, little actual Metroid enemies, and Psylocke here, who, if you've played, I think it was Metroid Prime Hunters on the DS. I do remember that. I used to have that game that is called the Scratch Your Bottom Screen game. You have to do so much with the stylus and all that.
Yeah.
Which was nonsense.
Yeah.
Had buttons, but this looks great. And it was like, hey, 2025, because we're all wondering, when is this coming? Because we've heard development hell on this game, and that they've said they had to restart development at one point. So it's nice to see get the release here, and it is looking good. And people are wondering, because of how well this looking that the game runs, we're seeing, is this actually running on the Switch? Or are we going to find out later on this year when they finally announce the Switch 2, Super Switch, whatever they're going to call the dang thing? Here you go. This what you saw in June on Metroid is actually running on our new console.
If that's true, though, I would be disappointed in the capabilities of the Switch 2, because while this looks nice, I think it looks very good for a Switch game. It kind of looks also like a AAA game from the 360 era. I mean, does it really look that much better than what you got back then?
Yeah,
I don't know, right? So this is where I look at this. I'm like, it's Metro Prime, and I played Metro Prime 1 and 3, and I like both of those games. I don't know why I never played 2, but I think they're cool, interesting games. But from what I saw here, nothing here like really impressed me, or it made me like really, really want to play this one. But it does look nice, and I think it.
Yeah, I just think that the expectations that people are having about Switch games being on the lines of the mainline PlayStation or Xbox type of games, or even PC games for that matter, just these type of games are just they're the graphical fidelity and all is just not going to be as high of quality, I think.
Which I understand that, and that's fair. And then this running on the Switch is nice, right?
Yeah.
But like the idea that this could secretly be the Switch 2 version, I'm like, I kind of hope it's a bit better. And also gameplay, right? Like, what did we see gameplay wise that really sets this apart? Like it looked just like another Metro Prime.
Yeah, but I just think, when it comes to the Switch 2, when it does come out next year, I mean, how better a quality are the games going to be than the original Switch? I don't think there's going to be much of a difference. I don't think so. I mean, go ahead, Burley.
Well, that's the thing. We're speculating at this point with the Switch 2. Until we hear specs and stuff, we can only theorize and all that. Yeah, I'll agree. This isn't the, oh my god, looks amazing and shows you stuff for Metroid Prime 4 that is like, oh my god, I have to have this. This is a day one purchase and all that. Yeah. This is, hey, to show you, hey, the game is still coming. We have not given up. We've got a release year, so we're getting close. And hey, we have that, previous character from some other Metroid games, if you've played them and you know of, is in here. So could other characters show up? That kind of stuff.
Okay, so let me ask you this. from what we saw, I mean, a very, very small sample size here, but from what we saw of this trailer at the Direct versus Metroid Dread, which we got, a couple of years ago now?
3 years, I think.
Yeah. Which game has better graphical quality to it? Which game looks better?
I'm going to say Dread. I like Dread's art style more. Dread has a lot more color, and really the colors and stuff pop with it. Prime 4, Carl brought up the 360 era. It's kind of apropos. This is looking a lot like the darker 360 games, like Gears of War, for example, where it's not as the colors are really not so bright, more dark. They're more darker, and that you do have some bright colors in here, but this is. I think this was just to keep us saying, "Hey, Metroid Prime 4, it's coming."
Yeah,
I think we'll get the real visual trailer once we get the Switch 2 announcement, because like you and I both think, this is a day one of the Switch 2.
Yeah.
So this is it. This was just maybe showing you, hey, this is running on the Switch, and just the quick teaser of it. You look at it on the Switch 2, and it's like, holy shit, this looks so good.
Yeah.
And they show off some of the elements of the game that really make you want to buy and get invested in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just worry it's not like the next step for the franchise. Like I like the Metroid franchise a lot, and it's never been the big seller, right, for Nintendo.
Well, it's never been the big seller, especially out here in Asia, in Japan, which is interesting. But I mean, people know about it, but it's nothing compared to Mario and Zelda and stuff like that. It's kind of yeah.
And this is what they did for some of their franchises recently. Obviously, like Zelda, Breath of the Wild, the new Mario Odyssey. I was kind of hoping for something a bit grander, but we gotta wait and see what they do.
Yeah. It's huge in Europe, though. Metroid is, so yeah, especially like in the UK and stuff. So, all right. So before we go away from the Direct, the final question I have for you guys, and a lot of people talk about, Nintendo, big Nintendo fans saying that this was the best showcase of all the summer showcases, and then of course you have a lot of the Xbox fans out there, Carl, you included, of course, that believe that the Xbox event was the best of all the showcases from this slate of showcases for the summer, the beginning of the summer months. And I mean, there's a lot of people out there that, are mostly Nintendo gamers that would probably feel that this Direct was probably the best of all the events. I just have to say that I think when it comes to whether or not the Nintendo, Direct was the best, showcase or not, I think it's based on your preference. Obviously, for me, I liked the Xbox event the best because that appeals to me more. Those type of games appeal to me more. Whereas, one of our other co-hosts, Fubu87, he'll probably be joining us later on in the show. He loved the Nintendo Direct. He felt that this showcase was the best of all the showcases. Burley, I think you have mixed feelings on this. I'll let you talk about it because you're also a Nintendo gamer as well as a multi-platform gamer. But I mean, I think it comes down to generally your preferences, whether or not you're a Nintendo gamer generally, or an Xbox gamer or a PlayStation gamer. So I'll start with you, Burley. I mean, was the Direct the best of the not E3 showcases? We call it not E3 because E3 doesn't exist anymore. But your thoughts?
Yeah. See, this was tough. I've been thinking for over the last couple of days about this because I think we both can say they are both number 1 and 2 of the showcases out of all of them. Like, I think we all agree PlayStation was last.
Yeah.
And Summer Game Fest, it was great in it, but I would give it third. I'm gonna give this to Nintendo, but it's just barely beats the Xbox One. Xbox had a damn great showcase, and like when we covered it live, X-Pat and I were just for 95% of it. We were yeah. Mm-hmm. There were a couple small things we weren't as big on, and there were stuff in this Nintendo Direct that I didn't care for. That Looney Tunes game, just like, yeah, skip. This is go grab a beer moment for me.
Okay, so my question to you, Burley, is what made this Nintendo Direct take this showcase over the hump when it came to, the Xbox being number 2 in your eyes?
For me, it's just there are certain games here in this Nintendo Direct, like the Zelda game, the Mario Party, and stuff like that. Games that I know for sure that I am going to pick up day one that have sold me okay. I'm going to pick up these games. There are games in the Xbox One that are like, definitely I will try them out on Game Pass and play them. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It was really hard, but it was just a few games with like the Zelda game being different and something different. That is like, I never thought I'd want something like this, but this is different. This has me intrigued.
Okay. Carl, your thoughts on all of this?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm going to say the Xbox Showcase was the best, but I also think the Xbox Showcase this year was like one of the best showcases ever in history. Right? I mean, I don't know how people can have higher expectations than what they did with that showcase.
Not have Matt Rudy on the stage.
Well, I mean,
I want to talk about. I want to talk about him.
Slowed things down for me.
You're so briefly there.
I'm going to talk about him in a few minutes when we get done with the Nintendo discussion, because there was something he talked about, and I'll mention it afterwards. Go ahead, Carl. Go ahead.
The thing with this Direct and many Directs of Nintendo is that they are usually, I would say, very good for their specific audience, right? And you have to be that very specific audience. Otherwise, like me, who I look at this and half of the stuff, I'm like, what the hell is that? And the other half, I'm like, that looks kind of cool, but it's not for me. And then there's like a hand, maybe one or two that I'm like, all right, like I guess I might play that.
That's exactly, that's kind of how I am. Yeah. I mean, when I was watching this, I mean, like the Zelda, the new Zelda, with the aspect that we were talking about with playing as Zelda, looking for Link, that intrigued me a bit. And Metroid at the end, of course, that was exciting. That's something I would play day one. The Mario and Luigi, that looks interesting. Of course, every Mario game is exciting. But yeah, I mean, some of the other stuff, man, I'm just like, I have no interest in playing. So.
In comparison to the Xbox Showcase, where I think if you're not an Xbox gamer, but you're a console gamer like on PlayStation or a PC gamer, you're going to look at that and you're going to say, wow, there's a lot of great stuff here that I would want to play. Mm-hmm. You don't have to be a specific audience to love what they're showing there. And for me, while some of the stuff isn't necessarily my genre, but I look at it and it looks amazing. And then a lot of it's on Game Pass. So like, I know I can try it without even worrying about. So that adds a bit for it for me. Mm-hmm. And anyone can do that. Anyone can join in and just get Game Pass for a month and have access to a ton of stuff and to try all of these things that you saw in that showcase. And there's very little from that showcase that I was like, that's terrible. I don't want to, or I have zero interest in that. There's the service stuff. Like service stuff is whatever, It's like almost like an obligation. Like we got to do that. And Nintendo had that, like sort of updates for some of their stuff, like the Switch Sports. Like who cares about more Switch Sports content? Well, that game wasn't even successful, or maybe mildly, but
it had success. It didn't get reviewed well, but it did sell well. But it's just such a weird thing with the Switch Sports is, hey, that was not a complete package, because when it launched, I think it was, forgive me if I'm wrong, it was like volleyball or one of the sports, or soccer. Soccer was not on the cart.
Yeah,
or download. You had to wait 4 months later, and then you got that. And it's like, oh, we're just adding to it because it's sold well, and just to keep people trying keep the sales up with the game. Welcome on in, Fubu.
Yeah, I was gonna say, welcome on in,
yeah.
Fubu87, one of our other contributors and co-hosts. Yeah, go ahead.
On that that I mean, but this is what I like and want to see, right? Is the best from Nintendo, the best from Microsoft, and the best from Sony, right? And at least we got the best for that audience there, you know. And hopefully, you know, one day maybe PlayStation will show up and be a part of this, but probably not. They'll just do it whenever they feel like.
All right, Fubu, I know you have some things you wanna chime in. I'm sure you've been listening to the conversation, you know, in the background here. So go for it. Throw your 10 cents in. Yeah.
Look, I'm just gonna be honest. I'm a PlayStation guy. You guys know that I'm a PlayStation guy. Expat and Carl, you're Xbox biased, so you'll take and Burley
no.
Nintendo.
I'm a multi-platform. Carl is more Xbox than I am. I'm a multi-platform gamer.
I'm just saying, me. As a PlayStation guy, I can be more impartial when it comes to this situation, and I have to say, this showcase from Nintendo was the best thing that we had in this crazy week of Summer Game Fest, Ubisoft, Xbox showcase. PlayStation had something like a few weeks ago. This was the best because I resonated a lot with the games that came out. They did something that we always say that Nintendo tries to be innovative. And what they did with the new Legend of Zelda game, I think it's the right step because people were wanting that. And playing with Zelda makes sense because it's the Legend of Zelda. It's her. She's creating her own legend. That's very, very dope. It's a different type of gameplay where you're going to have to get all different types of items and duplicate, and that will help you achieve new areas. So you can have a little bit of a Metroidvania feel on that because you'll have to go back to other areas. There were a lot of RPG games because, you know, I love RPG, especially turn-based games. There was a lot of them, and I resonated a lot because it was a very, very, very good showcase, and we do have the live reaction of that. Yes, I was very impressed because I said this, so I'm just going to finish with this. As you can see, I come with the full power. I'm just going to say this. Before this showcase, I said if Nintendo wanted to be the star on this week of gaming and stuff, they would have to come out with a Switch 2 teaser at least, so everyone would talk about their Direct. They didn't need that. They stole the show. It was an amazing showcase with amazing games. And that Super Mario game with different art, which more cartoonish, I also got my eye on that because that was beautiful.
Fubu, I have to say I'm offended that you say I'm Xbox biased, being the fact that I am the one who created this podcast, a multi-platform gaming news podcast. I am a multi-platform gamer. Of course, I love Xbox, I love PlayStation, I love Switch. I mean, but like I said, I'm just kidding with you. I'm just kidding. But I mean, it's.
I get why you said it about me. But
I was gonna say it's the same thing when something about PlayStation comes out and I start saying good stuff. You guys can say he's a PlayStation fanboy. Don't take him serious. I won't be a little of fun. I'll just be a little fun.
Yeah, I mean, just reiterating what I was saying before. There were some games that I'm really excited for that came out of the Direct, and as we did it together, the live reactions and stuff. But yeah, there's just some that I'm just like I'm not, I don't really care about playing. So, but yeah. So, anybody have anything else to add to this? Carl, did you want to take offense to what Fubu was saying about you being Xbox biased?
No, he agrees. I mean, what does it matter if he thinks this weird Nintendo show is better than the amazing Xbox show? I mean, his opinion is kind of irrelevant.
All right.
I'm joking with you, man.
Yeah, all right.
No, I was joking.
Do you want to play Romancing Saga 2? That's the one that looks the most interesting to me.
I do want to play that. It does look awesome because I do remember the original ones because I think they were PlayStation one. Like I remember on
It's
the
like an
PlayStation 1, I
SNES
think.
game originally.
Yeah. It's like super old. Yeah, it's super old. Because Xbox says he's old, so it was current for his time, I guess. So maybe
Xbox says he's old. You mean expat?
Yeah.
Not
Xbox. Sorry,
Xbox,
no.
expat. Yeah, Xbox is kind of old, but I'm a little bit older than Xbox.
No. What I'm saying, what I'm trying to say,
Yeah.
it was a Freudian slip because I look at you when I see Xbox because you're Xbox biased, so you know.
Xbox bias, man. Come on.
I can just picture this as Fubu sees instead of your face, it's the Xbox logo.
I just
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I'm
it's
messing
just-
with you. Now,
Yeah. You know me, man. It's like I'm
know.
more into the bigger AAA style of games, but
like we need to have it's right now what everyone sees is a very serious expat, but like during the direct he was doing the voice, like he was doing this funny voice. Me and Lee were cracking up after we ended. Me and Lee were talking about that. We were both cracking up. Like it was really fun. That voice. That was really fun, man.
Oh yeah, I remember watching that live, and I would be like, Fubu or expats should be doing some VA for some of these games.
Yeah. So go I'm not going to do it now, but go check out our live reactions, and you can see that. So yeah. All right. A couple of other things, just some side notes when it comes to the gaming news from this week that I want to talk about. Obviously, we got the DLC for Elden Ring, so interested to see what the sales numbers are going to be like. We'll probably be getting those in a couple of days for Shadow of the Erd Tree. So, and one of our Discord members, Sad Boy G, I'm sure he's going to be playing that. I'm interested to hear what he has to say about that. So, but what I want to talk about now with you guys, and this goes back to, you were talking about Matt Booty. And he was on a podcast recently talking about the closure of Tango. And he didn't say that was the main reason, but a lot of people are speculating some of the things he did say about the fact that Shinji Mikami left Tango, and that, of course, there was a reorganization there. A lot of people are speculating now that could have been one of the main reasons why Microsoft decided to close Tango, was because of Mikami leaving and the structural reorganization that was taking place there. And that maybe Microsoft was thinking, well, such a big name as Mikami leaving, maybe, it's maybe not going to work out. The quality is going to decline when it comes to the gaming that's going to be coming out of that studio. So I'll start with you, Carl. What are your thoughts on that? Carl, you're muted.
I was muted. Yeah. Sorry, I don't know if we can say for sure that he's talking about Mikami, because that was, how long ago was that?
It was about 6 months ago. 6 months ago or so, I think.
About a year.
Yeah, that was a while, and
it's been a while, but we'll say around a year now that he.
And I don't think it was unexpected, right? I think people, like, the idea was sort of that, like, he waited for a while because he wanted to, like, kind of see how things, he wanted the studio to have something to go on to the future, and then he wanted to move on.
He waited until Hi-Fi Rush came out, and then about a month after Hi-Fi.
I don't remember.
No,
maybe not.
I think it was just before the game came out. He left, if I'm not.
Okay. Well, it was sometime close to that, because
either way, long time now, right?
Yeah, right.
Feels like a long time. So, like, I don't know how that would be the, like, oh, right now, like, oh yeah, like, the decision to close. It could have been a factor for sure, because your two of your core your biggest franchises, which obviously are not that big, but like The Evil Within is Mikami's game.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're really going to do that without him at this point. And the Ghostwire Tokyo, and I always forget her name, but the woman who left, who was a lead.
Nakamura Ikumi-san.
Yeah. Right. So she wasn't there.
Yeah.
And I just kind of wonder if the lead on Hi-Fi Rush, John Johannes, like, what was his status, right? We don't know at this point. And that's always been my, like, theory.
Yeah.
As, like, did he want to leave? Did he leave? Right? Did he have an idea of some other idea of wanting to be somewhere else? And because that would then 100% make sense to me. Like if he was leaving, then like you got nothing at this point, right? Like who's all your 3 major franchises like don't have their lead. That would make a ton of sense to me. Why, right? But I don't think they probably can't talk about a lot of this stuff for whatever reason, like in any specifics, legal reasons, I imagine.
Yeah,
it sucks, but I feel like it makes some sense when you look at the business side of it. It's just an unfortunate thing.
Yeah, and Mikami-san, he went and he's established a new studio, but we don't know what he's working on or anything like that at the moment. So,
yeah,
but I have to say,
Mega Man level. What's his name?
Kenji Inafune.
Yeah. So, but watch out in the near future. Watch out for Nakamura-san's studio and what she's working on. It's amazing, and she's got a multinational group of people working there as well. So that could be the next Tango and even bigger. So and it's an independent studio. So out here in Tokyo area. So yeah, it's I'm really excited to see what she's got going on. So Burley Fubu, any thoughts on the Matt Booty conversation?
Well, about the Tango Studios, you know me, I always got something to say. But I think that their idea of entering the Japanese market, which, as we stated many times, it's very hard to get into. Their idea was probably going through Tango Studio, having a very good, a very famous game creator like him with the Tokyo, I forget the name, and then the other one, the Evil Within games, having an established games curriculum, very good curriculum of games. If probably they were saying, okay, we'll go with the studio, we'll use the studio to create a small niche inside the Japanese market, and then your figurehead leaves the studio. Like it's like Neil Druckmann leaving Naughty Dog. It would take a. It's not the same level, of course, because it's more famous worldwide. But you know what I'm saying. And their figurehead leaves the studio. They're like, okay, maybe we'll just go back. This is not going to work. We're not going to spend money trying to force this, and that's why they closed it, because they felt that their main figure leaving, they wouldn't have another figure to replace him. So let's save some money and just leave and close the studio. I think that's what happened.
Burley?
Yeah, I can understand why they may say this, and there could be some truth to it. I just feel there's some other underlying stuff. Like I believe there's stuff with the whole ZeniMax where you're like, we didn't have our management team spread. We didn't have enough to manage all these things, because this was a whole thing when this studio only exists because Bethesda, like Microsoft only owns it because Bethesda and ZeniMax thought, let's become a publisher. When Bethesda's like, not only are we going to be just making games, we're going to be a publisher.
Yeah.
And
and honestly, if Microsoft did buy Bethesda or ZeniMax, all their studios, do we think that Tango would still be around anyway? I don't know.
That's very hard to say.
Yeah.
Like they had, there's a good chance they may not have had as much success as they did, but like they had their deals. Like Ghostwire Tokyo was a year exclusive, 1 or 2 years exclusive on PlayStation before that. Before coming to everywhere else.
Yeah, when it comes to Nakamura Ikumi's studio, though, that game, the game that's coming from that studio, it's going to be multi-platform for sure. So I'm excited for that. So yeah, I'm digging deeper into that studio because I'm really looking forward to taking a trip out there and seeing that place, and hopefully getting a chance to meet Nakamura-san. So yeah, good stuff. So I'm really excited.
They not revealed anything for what that is yet?
They just had like I think the only thing they've actually shown of the game was like artwork,
concept art.
concept art, and I think there was a title as well, but just concept art at the moment. So
Really, it's called Unseen.
That's the name of the studio.
Yeah.
Unseen. Yeah, Unseen.
And also the game. It's Unseen. We haven't seen.
Oh wait, so the studio's first game, Kimuri, was revealed at the Game Awards.
It's called Kimori, but it was only art style, like art concepts that were showed. Yeah. So
it was a blink and you miss it kind of thing, Carl.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then on X, she's shown some of the inside of the studio and with some of the people that are working there and stuff. It's a very multicultural, multinational studio. So, yeah, I'm really excited for her and what she's got going on there. So we shall see. All right, so now it's time to get to our new game release picks of the week. So Fubu, sorry you were too late to the party for this week.
I get it.
So you can give us a game next week. So Burley, you're up first. So our new game picks of the week, of course, you can go to releases.com. So that's www.releases.com, and you can check out all of the new game releases for this week into July and beyond. So Burley, you are up first. What do you got for us?
My pick of the week is Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. Advance through varied missions to collect lost shards of the Dark Moon, spread across numerous unique mansions, each presenting its own set of puzzles to unravel and ghosts to apprehend them. Aim for a top score by wielding your enhanced ghost catching device, the Poltergust 5000, to vacuum up ghosts as well as window curtains. Trust me, from playing Luigi's Mansion 3, you do want to do that to those windows curtains. Expel air to meticulously explore every corner of these eerie, delightful mansions. This is the HD port of the 3DS game that originally came on the 3DS. It is coming only to Switch June 27th. I'm looking forward to this. I've only played 3, and I had a blast playing 3. And I do have this ordered. I'm not happy that Nintendo is charging full price on this, but I got a little deal thanks to Wario64 on Twitter. You can find some little deals. They had a thing with Play Asia. I got this and Peach game for the price of buying one of these games brand new over here in Canada. So it's going to take a little bit for it to get to me, but I will record a little extra take on this eventually when I get my copy.
Yeah, Play Asia. I have to give a shout out to Play Asia because that's where I usually, get my digital codes and stuff like that. It's a great service. Yeah, out here in Asia. It's based in Hong Kong, so good stuff. Fubu, you were going to say something?
I was going to say every time he says that it's going to take a long to get. I think did he order from Amazon again? Because every time he orders something from Amazon, it never shows up. I remember.
Oh yeah, with collector's editions, I've learned my lesson. I stopped ordering from Amazon because every time I just kept getting screwed.
Yeah, no, I remember God of War. You were pissed about God of War. I remember.
That one, as much as I wanted to blame Amazon, that was Sony didn't give enough copies all over out. It was just so stupid.
Yeah,
I get it. That's why I always like to buy games. Like, the only thing I buy digital, it's my sports games because I want to play it. But everything else, I always try to get it day one on big retail stores. Like you don't have it in America, and I bet in Japan you don't have it as well. But we have a French one called Fnac. Every time I want to get a game day one, I always ask them, and I get like day one, doesn't miss. So it's always very good. So I do understand your pain of not getting the game, taking a long time to get it.
Yeah, this is the type of game that I would get, and then I would just put it away, and then when Halloween comes around, then I would break it out and play it. So,
yeah,
it's a great stuff.
It's fun.
All right, next up, my pick. So,
see, Xbox.
Gigantosaurus. Well, it's just the logo. Gigantosaurus Dino Sports. It's coming to PC, PS4, PS5, Switch, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. Gigantosaurus Dino Sports invites the whole family to join the Giganto games. Fans of the show can play as their favorite main characters from the series: Rocky, Mazu, Tiny, and Bill in both solo mode and up to 4-player couch co-op. With 8 Dino-themed sports challenges in the main tournament, alongside a host of brilliant mini games and puzzles to solve. Fans will also get to take control of the title Gigante for the very first time in his own dedicated minigame, Giganto Mayhem. So yeah, that's great stuff.
Yeah, it's a party game. Like it's a party game. That's really good. It looks really fun.
Yeah.
Put the
Different
game
types of
on and put
sports.
some dino nuggets in the oven.
Yeah, really. So it's
Dynamite.
coming.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's coming on June 28th, Friday. So yeah, good stuff. So let me go ahead and get that off there. So yeah. So those are our picks of the week. So releases.com. So you can go to www.releases.com. Check out all the new game releases for this week into July and beyond. So yeah, let's go and check those out. So good stuff. So Carl, of course, your pick of the week we showed earlier in the show, the Beyond Good and
Yeah,
Evil
that's fine.
20th anniversary edition. So yeah, Fubu, are you interested in that one? Beyond Good and Evil? Yeah.
Honestly, it's one of those games that I've always heard about it, but I've never played it. But it's something so cult classic that I might give it a shot if I get it like a good price. Because again, always heard about it. Where's Beyond Evil 2? Where is it? Where is it? There was a time that they were announcing. I think it's in development hell. It's not showing anything new. But it's one of those games that I know the gameplay. It's very famous, but I never played it. It's like don't kill me, but I've seen a lot of Half-Life, but I've never played any Half-Life. I know everything about that game, about G-Man. It was like the first one that you had like the destructible environment stuff like that. It was a very unique game, but I've never played that one. And it's the same thing with Beyond Good and Evil. It's something that if I get my hands on it, I will definitely give it a go as curiosity at least.
Burley, we're gonna say something there. I saw you.
I was gonna say, I know I was gesturing to do the hand thing when he said
I
played a Half-Life.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
It's all good. There are tons of games we all play. Like I've never played Beyond Good and Evil. I know it's a cult classic and all that. It's just like I've never had that desire to be like, I need this, like this 20th anniversary. I wait and hear from people, and then when it's on the PSN or on Steam for $5 kind of thing, I'll be like, okay, it's $5. Let's throw down and see if it's worth it.
I'm pretty sure they're not going to make it full price. That would be crazy to make like.
This is Ubisoft.
No,
this is Ubisoft. That's all I'll say.
Just get Ubisoft Plus and you can play it for free.
It's Ubisoft. It's Ubisoft. All right, Carl, you're up next. So Wave 2 for June. I know June, we're in the last week of June already, but we didn't go through the Game Pass list from last week. So what do we got coming to or what do we have now and coming at the end of the month for June for Game Pass?
Okay, we have available. Let's see. Okay, June 19th. Okay, there we go. My Time at Sandrock. Okay, June 20th, Kepler. Then we have EA Sports FC 24. That's for
Carl, play that. Come on, it's free. They give you a free pack.
June 25th.
I'll carry you, man. We'll go in divisions.
When's FC 25 coming out, though?
I assume probably at the end of September or beginning of October, because it might be a little. Yeah, because it's going to be like this. Because of the Euro, most of the championships in Europe they will start a little bit later. Yeah. So basically, I think end of September, beginning of October.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's cool that there's some time in between when the next one's coming out.
Yeah.
There are fans. Steam World Dig, the first one on June, and the second one on June 26th.
Nice. Good games. I love those.
Yeah.
I played them on the Vita, actually. So, Steam World. So.
That one, those aren't, okay, well, anyway. Console, PC, cloud, console. One of them's not on PC. Okay, whatever. The first one's not on PC. Robin Hood, Sherwood Builders, which I don't even remember this one. Is this a new one?
Yeah, maybe.
June 27th.
Day one on it on Game Pass.
Yeah.
This is day one.
I would assume because I like the Robin Hood like mythology, and
Okay.
I think
never
this
heard about
game's a
this one.
few years old. I think. Or no, it's
this is
saying
open world
PC,
RPG.
Xbox Series. Yeah, so never mind. I'm
Base
wrong.
building. Did it come to PC first and then now it's on console? Who the hell knows?
Probably.
Yeah, right. Anyway, all right. Wait, was that it? That was it. That's all. See, this wasn't like a big drop. I'm surprised. Like we aren't getting these Activision games. I want to call that out. Like at this point in the year, we had the showcase, and everybody sort of waited and thought that was going to be the moment. And like, and then this is what you put out as your drops. And no offense to like some of these games, which are good, but you have this library of like fantastic Activision and Blizzard games that you could be dropping in, and they don't have to be all of them.
Especially since it's a summer season now, summertime, and you got everybody's out for summer vacation.
Yeah. So like people like put the pressure on them. Like where the hell are these games already? Yeah, I don't get it. You did Diablo, and then that's it, and you said nothing for a couple months since you made that announcement. Like, come on. Like throw freaking Spyro and Crash, one of those trilogies in here.
I think they're not telling us the whole story about the purchase of Activision Blizzard. Maybe there was some kind of deal that was made to be able to make the final purchase that they had to wait for a certain period of time before they could put any of those games on Game Pass.
I'm sure Activision's kind of fighting them, Activision Blizzard.
I mean, because they own them. They can do what they want. I mean,
just because you own them doesn't mean necessarily they're not going to try stuff. This is Activision.
The only thing I see is that they're still trying to figure out the cloud situation with Ubisoft, because they made that deal, right, where Ubisoft got the rights to cloud stuff, which I don't know how that I don't think that really affects the old games, but I don't know. And maybe it has to do with some of the PC stuff, and they want these games, like when they put them out, to be available on all of their places and not just console, which I know would be the easiest way, but maybe they just think the value is better if it's everywhere, and that's going to take more work. But still, it's been, more than half a year since you've got these guys. So like, hurry up, guys, get on.
I agree with Carl in that aspect. I'm not saying it has to be like a big game, but I remember there was like 2 years ago, maybe there was this mini collection with the Blizzard classics, like the Lost Vikings 1 and 2, when there were 2 more games. And that's not something that's way high profile. It's not a high profile game. Just a wink, like, hey, we're here. They could throw one of those in here just as a wink that, it's going to come one day. But they're not doing, even like with the older game catalog, they're not doing that. And I think it's weird, because if I had this huge library of games from Blizzard, I would definitely show them off and give them to my subscribers. I would definitely do that. But again, there might be something behind that we don't know.
Well, we have not gotten the Wave 1 for July yet, so I guess we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, I mean that should be July 2nd.
Yeah, so next week. So hopefully we'll have some news on that, and maybe we'll get an Activision game in there. So hopefully we'll see.
I was digging into this Sherwood Builders game, and it was on PC last year. But this is day one for the console release. So
console,
I'm watching the trailer. This actually looks kind of interesting.
Okay. And anything leaving Game Pass, Carl? At the end of this month, nothing leaves.
No, I'm kidding. FIFA 22, Fist.
FIFA 22, Fubu. I guess we can scrap that one, right? Yeah.
That Fist game, Stranded Deep, Story of Seasons, Friends of Mineral Town, Sword and Fairy Together Forever.
Okay.
And then July 5th, Cricket 22, guys. You gotta hurry up, play that.
Go get it.
Go get it. Yeah. All right. Okay. Burley, you're up next. So the PS Plus Extra and Premium that was dropped here in June. So what came to that?
Alrighty. So this all launched on the 18th. You got Monster Hunter Rise for the extra for PS4, PS5. Football Manager 2024. No FUBU, no more gambling for you. We put
No,
you
I
in
won't. I
rehab.
won't.
We put you in rehab on this. If you slip, then
No,
the force.
no. I'm never liked Football Manager because I think I get really mad because they're like, you're stupid. You're not saying no. You're not doing what I would do. And I don't like to be the coach. I rather control everything. So, but I won't touch this game. Football Manager is not my thing, to be honest.
Alrighty, Crusaders Kings 3 for PS5 on the extra. That I'm interested. I've seen people play that on the PC, so I'm very interested to see how that will work with the controller, because this seems like a game you really want the mouse and keyboard.
Yeah,
it is a strategy and roll.
I played that.
Yeah. Motocross Energy Supercross, the official video game 6. So yeah, if you want to slam a Monster Energy and play on some dirt bikes,
you know who's going to be doing that. I'll be at least slamming the Monster Energy. I don't know about the game part, but
that's the game he's going to say next week he's playing. Playing some Monster.
Exactly. Well, I always slam a Monster Energy when I'm making the content here on the Arena Productions, obviously, when it comes to all the entertainment and pop culture content as well. So go ahead, Burley.
After Us for PS5. Yeah, this was one of the post-apocalyptic. We've seen this at like Game Awards and stuff. So this is one I've wanted to try, so I'm very curious. Anno 1800 for PS5. So yeah, we got the content dropped with it through the Ubisoft Forward. So yeah. And then Police Simulator Patrol Officers for PS4, PS5, and Far Cry.
That game's funny, actually, from what I've seen.
Oh, those simulator games are great. Those are just grab an adult beverage and just have some fun. Yeah. Far Cry 4. You got that. Lego The Hobbit, Lego Incredibles, both for PS4. And then for the premium, you got Kayak VR Mirage for PSVR 2. So yeah, there's actually now 7 games, I think, for PSVR 2. Or is it 8? Lego Star Wars 2, the original trilogy for PS4, PS5. Okay. So this is, you've got the rewind and quick save and all that. Hey, who doesn't love Lego Star Wars? The great game. Ghost Hunter for PS4, PS5. It was originally a PS2 game. Yeah. So yeah, we're now starting to get some PS2 games and their emulators on there.
Nice.
Thank God.
Yes.
About time.
Daxter, the game on PSP for PS4 and PS5. Always wanted to try this game, so
it's good.
Yeah, I would say this is actually not a bad month for PS Plus Extra and Premium.
You guys want to know what's the sad part? Like, we just saw the Game Pass from Xbox. It wasn't that good. Come on, we've seen better months. Let's say that's a fact. And we're thinking, oh, this is not a bad month. But Nintendo offers much better, and they only offer things like every 3 months. What they're offering on their service, which is the Nintendo 64 mature content, where you can play Perfect Dark, you can play it online. There was the Turok game that we saw. Like, we were expecting that Plus was going to be on top. No, Nintendo just slams the door and goes, I got this here. I'm better than you. And then just leave. I'll come back in 3 months.
Are you being serious right now? I can't tell.
I'll be honest. When it comes to the online, the services that Nintendo gives, I do like the games. Like, I know it's all games, but they give when they give the games like 1 or 2 or 3 games, it's better games than the whole content that, for example, Plus is giving. Like, I do like Monster Hunter Rise. It's a good game. I've been playing it. It's kind of fun. But for example, when the Switch, Nintendo gave the Golden Sun 1 and 2, for example, those are very good games. When they gave they're giving that the Legend of Zelda, the one that you have to play multiplayer. Now I'm forgetting the game. That's a very good
Sword
game.
Adventures.
Sword Adventures. Thank you, Burley.
I just don't know. I just don't know how many people are going to jump into Monster Hunter Rise now that already haven't,
Yeah.
Because
Well,
I mean that is a grind. You know how the Monster Hunter games are. They're grinds, man. And I mean it takes a long time. So yeah.
Actually, that brings up exactly like what I wanted to say about this is that while I think there's a lot of good stuff here, the 3 big games right here on the screen are all Game Pass table scraps. Like they were launch day, like Monster Hunter Rise launched on Xbox Game Pass, Crusader Kings 3 PC launch on Xbox. I'm sorry, on Game Pass.
PC Game Pass, right?
PC,
Yeah.
and then the console launch also was day one on Game Pass back in 2022, and the original was 2020. So you're giving me a 4-year-old game, and I know it's a great game, but it's 4 years old by now. And Football Manager again also was the day one on Game Pass. Like, I don't understand. Like, I get probably what's going on is like they look at what's on Game Pass and like, well, I guess we could get that on the cheap now. Like a year later, like sure, obviously they're willing to make these kind of deals, but like, yeah, then do better. Like, who is playing some of these old games at this point?
See, this goes to what I was saying. Like what they're giving on the Nintendo, like the Turok and the Zelda, and
these games, 30-year-old games.
I was just about to want to play that. It's like 30-year-old games, man. Yeah.
But people will want to play that. That's what I'm trying to say. They will want to play that because, like I was saying, Beyond Good and Evil,
it's nostalgia.
It's
nostalgia.
Yeah, but I'll try that one because it's a cult classic. Perfect Dark is a cult classic. People will want, like, I'm not saying they're buying the service on purpose to play.
Fubu, if you want to play Perfect Dark, you can play it on Game Pass. Because it's in the rare replay and it has the remastered version. It's the better version to play. It's already there. It's been there for forever.
Okay. All right. We're kind of getting a little bit off point here. So Burley, is there anything else for premium that hasn't been mentioned yet?
Well, that wasn't mentioned in the list. We had earlier just earlier you had Sly Cooper, the PS2 version. And we have knowing that's coming is the first Time Splitters on PS2. That is coming. Which I'm excited. I hope that emulates well. And if it really emulates well, and they get Time Splitters 2 emulating well, I cannot wait for that because I love that back on the PS2.
See, this is what we want. This is what we want. We want these types of games, the nostalgia factor.
All right. Okay. So that is the PS Plus Extra and Premium for June. All right. So good stuff. Now it's time to move on to our programming notes. So, of course, the Arena Productions. We are not only gaming news, we are also an entertainment and pop culture related hub. So we talk about some of the biggest shows that are on, of course, the streaming services as well as the movies. So this week, House of the Dragon has started. Season 2. So my recap and review of House of the Dragon Season 2, Episode 1, A Son for a Son. So my recap and review. Have you guys seen the episode yet? Have you watched it?
Oh yes. I watched that Monday morning. Like when I had my morning walk, fired it up on the TV, sat there with my breakfast and just watched. And I'm glad I ate my breakfast quick because later in that episode, you do not want to be eating while you're watching it. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. Well, I'll just say that the blood and cheese are depicted a lot differently in this TV series here than they are in the books. So yeah, I mean, it was great to see the Wall again. It was great to see Cregan Stark, the head of the Stark family, to see the Starks again. So that was really cool. And it was interesting in the episode. So for those of you that are watching right now or are watching, there are going to be some spoilers that we're going to talk about here about these shows. So just a spoiler warning when it comes to the programming notes here. But I just want to say it was interesting that Cregan Stark was talking about, the time when Jaehaerys, like almost 100 years before this time, had come to the Wall. His dragons would not cross the Wall. That was really interesting. That was really interesting because obviously, as we know in Game of Thrones, what happens to Viserion, so that was really interesting to say that his dragons, Jaehaerys' dragons that came with him to Winterfell would not cross over the wall. So it would not fly into the, the territory of the wildlings. So that was really interesting. So, yeah. Your guys'
I like that.
thoughts?
I love that. It re-brought back the mysticism of it and really bringing up the lore, because we all wondered with season 1, because he gives gives the to her the prophecy, gives her the prophecy in the dagger show.
Yeah, you're talking about that series. Yeah, the series in season 1. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, giving Rhaenyra the prophecy. That was, you're wondering how much of that we're going to get. They did do enough with just that one quick line with the season here, the opener for this season, to show it and bring back the magic and the mysticism without you don't even have to. It's a show, don't tell, or sorry, tell but don't show. And it's great, and it's just for someone like me that is like, okay, this really helps keep the faith, keep the lore, and really keeping me. I want to see more with what they do with this.
Yeah, and I love how they showed the selection process of the person who would have to go to the wall. They had to pick out of a bag of stones. It's like the white stones. Symbolize that you're not going, but then the person who picks the black stone out of the bag, they're the one that has to go. So yeah, that was really cool. So. All right, and next up, of course, on the Star Wars side, of course, the Acolyte. So episode 4. So the Forest Showdown at the end of the episode. So my recap and review of episode 4 of the Acolyte. So, and we had a pretty interesting cameo in this episode from the prequel era. Yeah.
I saw the chatter on the internet for this, and like, just a roll your eyes, like facepalm moment of like, just get over it.
Yeah, so exactly. Silly. Yeah. But it was interesting to see that character from the prequels in the episode. So, but obviously the big question though is, who is this Dark Lord? I personally think it's Chimere, and I think Chimere is the apprentice. This guy here that you see in this image, he is not the master. I think this guy is the apprentice to the master, who we have not seen yet. Whether it's Plagueis or Tenebros, I think it's going to be Tenebros, because I don't think Plagueis is old enough yet at this time. Tenebros was Plagueis' master.
Oh, yeah.
So I think this apprentice here, who I think is Chimere, the guy that's been leading May all along, as he led her through the forest and was, tempting her and all. I think Chimere is this guy here. I think he's the apprentice. And then later on, something happens to him, and then Plagueis becomes Tenebros's, apprentice.
I mean, this episode definitely leaned into making you believe that more than before. I know people already had that theory.
Yeah.
Which kind of makes you think like, well, I don't know. Then it probably shouldn't be him. Like you're trying to throw people off. I feel like they're not executing very well on this show. Like, I like the idea, but if it's gonna be someone like we don't really know, or they're not really following too much, like, is that interesting? Like, I want a story about like these characters, right? I don't want the story to be about like this reveal. It's someone you don't know. I mean, I guess it makes sense if at least you know that guy, right? So that's fine. He should be related somehow to this plot, right? This character, but
yeah,
I don't know, because there's always wild theories. So like, it could be what's her name, Trinity's character. It could be this other person. Like, everybody's like throwing out ideas on who this could be, and I'm like, I don't know that I like that. And can we just not like just speculate that it's everybody? It's anybody and everybody, right?
Yeah. Well, there's people saying that it could be the mother, You know, there's people saying that, or
Which I
the
think
other
makes
mother.
sense,
You know,
right?
because she wasn't when you
Yeah.
saw the scene where they were all laying there, she wasn't among them. So who knows? I mean,
and I think that plays into the story well. If it was her, I would like that.
I think
I have another idea, but I don't want to say it because like I kind of don't want to like put these ideas in my head of like what I expect it to be. I'm trying not to like think because like it's kind of ruining it a little bit for me. Go ahead.
Okay. I get it. I personally don't have any idea who it might be. The only clue that I see here, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I've always learned that from video games like Sith, they use more lightning-based attack. Jedi, they use more force push abilities. And despite the fact he has a red lightsaber, he does use a very powerful push attack. Like that's when the episode ends. So I'm inclined that this is not the Sith Master. I think this might be someone that maybe is working alone, a previous Jedi that's going towards the dark side. And I'm going like you get Carrie Ann Moss. She's a very, I'm not going to say high profile actor, but actress in this case, but she is high profile. Her face is very recognizable, and just using her like on the first episode and then having her has flashbacks. It's not using her character or the actress to its full potential. So I think they might take her this way because I don't think she would want to. She doesn't seem like a big Star Wars fan just to be like, oh, I was in a Star Wars project. No, I think there's something more behind it, and I think she's going to be more important. So I'm going that way.
I would have to disagree on the Carrie Ann Moss being the character because her character is already dead. But I mean, I think it could be a former Jedi that is, interested in the teachings of the Sith. Might not be a Sith himself, but trying to be a disciple in some way, shape, or form. I don't know, but I just want to also say the scenery. Fubu is very beautiful here. It was funny. It was very Lord of the Rings like. It's like going through the hills there. Yeah,
I think it's very accurate that you have a Wookiee hidden there because here in Madeira we're also very hairy, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
This episode I thought was pretty boring overall. Like I like the reveal at the end, great. Like, but that's all it was really.
The last minute of the episode was the highlight of the whole episode, obviously.
But it's like both groups trekking through this forest, and neither of them are interesting. I didn't care what they were talking about, the dynamic. Like it just wasn't very good to me, and that's where I say like the execution of this isn't working too well because like your setup for this episode was she's gonna go hunt this Wookiee, and then when I get to him before she does, and then we never see anything with him for a brief moment, and then he's dead. I'm like, can we get some like cool action with him doing something?
And that's the thing. We're going to be getting more flashbacks. We're going to be getting flashbacks of Kalnaka, and like him with, lightsaber action as well. So, and it seems like in the clips there that they're showing of the flashback of him with the lightsaber, he's fighting another Jedi, whether it's a training session or maybe it's the Jedi that turns, and leaves and becomes this so-called apprentice or Sith follower, I guess we could call her, acolyte, the acolyte. So yeah, I don't know, but Burley, your thoughts?
They're all in on it, except for Soul. All these Jedi that they wanted to kill, they're all in on it. They're training. They're all the masters together.
I have to admit, though, I love that little beaver character, though. The scent, and going after, so it looked like a beaver, kind of like a beaver type of character. Burley, your thoughts on the Acolyte episode 4?
I have not watched any of the Acolyte yet. I'll be honest.
I just like, what are you all talking about?
I've heard stories. I have not heard much other than you guys saying good things, everyone else I've heard that has watched this, that I know, like other coworkers and stuff, are like, just skip. I'm like, oh, I'll watch it when it's all released.
Okay, well, let's get to our final part of course, the programming notes, which I know, Burley, you have watched, and that's The Boys.
Oh, yeah.
Season 4, Episode 4, Wisdom of the Ages recap.
Oh,
so my
my
recap and
gosh.
review of The Boys. What a great episode this was. And Fubu, I agree with you. Anthony Starr, I mean,
I already
the
saw
guy
it the second
deserves an
time.
Emmy. He completely 100% deserves an Emmy. He should have one already. But
I haven't watched any of this, so don't spoil anything.
Sorry, just 2 seconds.
okay. He's leaving now. Yeah,
I thought it was like 2 seconds, but
yeah, it's another great episode, guys. So
it's another great episode.
Yeah.
Don't worry, there's not much violence. There's not much blood and gore. No.
What are you talking about, man?
I know. Yeah, no, it's got it, and it's got it actually, for this episode, for parts of this episode, it makes you root for Homelander, and with what he is doing in parts of this episode. I loved it. I love the whole stuff with Homelander. Every scene he was in this episode, gold. It was just gold. He Anthony Starr, just 10 out of 10 acting in this episode. Everything he did, just great. This so far is the best episode of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good stuff, man. Really good stuff. Yeah. So those are our programming notes. So for the Arena Productions, of course, entertainment, pop culture related hub, as well as video games. Yes. So it's time to talk about the games that we will be playing this coming week. So what are you going to be playing, Carl?
EAFC is going to have it for free.
Yes.
Okay.
That's why I've been playing demos, because it's like I can actually play through them and just enjoy that small amount of content. There was another demo I wanted to try for a game called Space Prison, which I booted up for a little bit, which is not spoilers, no surprise, turn-based. But it is like a weird sort of interesting roguelite. Very much reminds me of Darkest Dungeon, except you're in a space prison and you're just kind of scrounging for resources and fighting stuff and going on runs. And when you die, they transplant your mind into another body, so you're still in prison. And that's the idea of how you keep going.
I see. Cool. Yeah, I'm probably going to get back to some dungeon crawling. I got to get back to Diablo 4 again, because I finished Hellblade 2, so yeah, I'm probably going to do that and play a little bit of that this week. Burley, how about you?
Yeah, I may actually do a little Diablo 4 as well. We still got time left in the season.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can try and hit 100 with my seasonal barbarian. But games I will be playing for sure this week: keep up with Paper Mario 1000 Year Door,
Nice.
keeping up with Rise of Ronin, slowly making progress in that. A lot of deaths, and Cult of the Lamb. Got to keep my cult going. We got to keep killing these people
Nice.
that don't understand the cult.
Nice.
Nostalgia hit me really hard, and I'm actually playing GTA San Andreas, the Definite Edition. So I'm playing that. I was in San Fierro, and I was thinking about TVX Fat, because I know it's the same city. I'm going to be playing that, so I'm going to plat that game, because it's not easy, but it's not also super hard, and it's something I like
It's
to do.
just a grind to do kind of thing.
It's not really grind. It's 35 hours to plat. You don't you not need to do a little bit, but I thought for a GTA game, I thought it would be harder. But yeah, it was mostly because of nostalgia, so I decided to play. And I think they fixed it a lot since the game initially came out. They did a bunch of updates, because I remember the game when it came out and right now, and it's not the same. You see some bugs, but even in terms of graphics, it's much better than when it came out. So I'm enjoying it. Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
I'm worried about my mental health when GTA 6 comes out, because I mean I will be I don't know if I'll play another game for the rest of the year. I mean, it's just, yeah, I mean, it's that game is going to be so good. I mean,
Yeah,
just
I need to take.
driving around Miami, that's all I might do, just drive around Miami the whole time. So yeah, it's good stuff. Yeah, they need to put a GTA in San Francisco though. So yeah, but
That would be awesome.
yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's like Los Santos. Come on, it was L.A. So it's like, all right, okay, so it's time to end the show with our indie recording artist spotlight. So every week we do an indie recording artist to end the show, and this week, so our indie recording artist is Shahid Mostafar. Known for creating cinematic music, Shahid's work incorporates numerous music genres. He considers himself first and foremost a music lover who enjoys everything music has to offer, and whose primary mission is to produce the purest and most intense emotions possible through his original creations. From the title song of his album called Vortex. So this has been The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast, episode 175. I've been your host, Expat, along with my co-hosts, Burlyman Gaming, Turn-Based Carl, and Fubu87. So we hope to catch you in the next one. And we go live here on our YouTube channel, The Arena Productions, every Saturday at 2 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So we hope to catch you in the next one. So take care, everyone, and enjoy your week of gaming. Peace.